Hey, what's up guys? It's I Just Reroll here, and in today's video I just want to make a quick meta prediction on how I feel the meta is going to turn out in 12.14 of Set 7 Dragonlance TFT, because the patch notes just came out and I was just kind of thinking, what are the team compositions I want to be playing? And so today I'll just share what I believe is going to be strong in the next patch and what I plan on playing. So just for your info, by no means does this mean that this is like some kind of tier list and I believe these will be the only strong comps. These are just some of the comps that I plan on playing myself, basically, at least for the first few days of the patch, and then as things develop, maybe I will add some comps or get rid of some comps which haven't been doing too great, or vice versa. So the first comp, we'll start with a hyper roll comp, because I want to start from comps that we commit to very early. So that will be a hyper roll comp, and this will actually be reroll karma. So basically, the reason why I think this comp's going to be strong next patch is because Nidalee and Astrals are getting nerfed in general. And so I was thinking of what could be my go-to hyper roll comp, or let's say I get Think Fast on 2-1 or something. What could I roll for? And to me, the obvious answer with Karma reroll. Jade in general got slightly buffed, Ash got buffed, and I think Guardians got buffed a bit. So it just seemed very obvious to me to, and Dragonmancers too, right? Yeah, so everything combined makes it so that this should be the best hyper roll comp that you commit to from a very early stage, basically, I believe. And we see here the level 6 core that we're going for is going to be Karma, Ezreal, Ashe, Taric, Leona, and Lee Sin. Lee Sin, we don't really care for until after we've 3-starred our Karma and our Leona. I feel like Karma is going to be a bit better as a carry. I actually have been playing this comp a bit this patch, and I think it's actually good. Like, people underrate it, and so I'm gonna keep playing it. And I don't know if these are the best items on Karma, but you can put a bunch of AP items on her or something that will deal damage. I think that'll be good. On Leona, we try to build Sunfire and Ionics so that she can deal a ton of damage while still being tanky with a Warmogs or something. And these will be our core units. We make Karma our Dragonmancer, and basically at level 8, we can add in Shiryu. And what I like to do is also I will take Lee Sin and Ezreal out eventually once I find Yasuo and Bard, and I'll replace Lee Sin with Yasuo, and I'll replace Ezreal with Bard, because by that time in the game these are just way better units to have inside. So that's why at the start of the game I'm not even prioritizing 3-starring Ezreal. I'm just trying to 3-star my Karma and Leona, and maybe Taric if I'm hitting a bunch of Tarics. So the next comp I want to talk about is going to be Tristana reroll, and I actually think this is much stronger than trying to get Corki as our main carry rather than Tristana or Jinx. Mainly because I don't know, I just feel like 4-cost carries are not that great, and especially next patch it seems like all the 4-cost carries just won't be that great. I feel like it's either going to be slow roll or hyper roll, or you try to go level 8 or level 9 and get 10-cost dragons like AoShin or Shyvana or something. That's kind of how I feel the meta of next patch will be. But anyways, this comp's been doing it's been doing okay, but I feel like in the West a lot of people don't really know how to play it properly. The thing is, you try to 3-star either Jinx or Tristana, not necessarily both of them. and whichever one you 3-star first, you make your carry. So let's say you 3-star Jinx first, well then you can just sell your Tristana, you should have another copy on your bench since you're slow rolling, and then you put the items onto Jinx. You can also try and 3-star Senna, and if you do 3-star her, you can put a couple items on her, it can't be bad. Something like a static Shiv, she's a great supporting unit, but if you don't 3-star her, later in the future you're probably going to be replacing her for a unit like Sona or Bard or something like that. But this is our ideal level 6 composition. We're going to have Tristana and Jinx, who we are trying to 3-star. We're also trying to 3-star Braum and Thresh as our Guardians. And if we 3-star Braum, we always put items on him. And if we 3-star Thresh, we actually also keep our items on Braum in this situation. It's better to have items on 2-star Braum rather than 3-star Thresh. And again, we don't need to 3-star all 4 units. 3-starring just one frontliner and one backliner should be enough. Finally, we have our Lulu, who's going to give us our trainer and Normsy synergy. Like, as soon as you have one Lulu, you put Lulu in instead of Heimer. Pretty simple comp. At level 7, we want to add Corki. If we can't find Corki, we want to add Sona. And at level 8, we want to add Corki and Sona. And eventually, we'll find Bard. And when we find Bard, we can take Senna out unless we 3-starred her. In which case, I guess we take out Corki or Sona. I'm not actually sure about that. Also, if we do not 3-star Braum, we can put in Idis and take Thresh out at level 8 or something. So the next team composition I want to talk about is actually going to be Yone slow roll with Warriors and Guardians. Over here, we've got 2 Guardians and 4 Warriors, and Olaf is actually going to be our secondary carry, so it's not going to be super important to 3-star him. But that being said, we will try to 3-star Yone and potentially Braum, although Braum won't be as important. And this is actually a popular team composition in Korea already. There's a few Challenger 1-tricks who are running this team composition. I don't really play it myself, but I think it's going to be very strong next patch, so I'm going to try and pick it up. And the reason why I think this is going to be very strong next patch is because everything else, so many different comps got nerfed in some way. Again, Xayah got nerfed, and Varus got nerfed, Mages got nerfed. To be honest, Nidalee got nerfed. To be honest, I feel like Xayah will be completely dead next patch. She'll be unplayable in my opinion. And Nidalee will be very, very niche, that's why I didn't include her on comps I'm gonna play. It will be very few situations where I feel like you want to play Nidalee. Mages, I'm not sure how the changes will actually affect mages, but I don't think they'll be very good. And so basically a lot of comps got nerfed. Varus got nerfed hugely too, so I think Varus will also be low on the priority. I'm not planning on playing Varus either. So basically, because of all of that, I think Yone and comps like Tristana reroll, they're gonna rise in priority and they're gonna be quite strong. And that's why I'm planning on picking this comp up. Over here we have the level 6 comp, which is where we want to be slow rolling. The tempo should be similar to Tristana reroll. We want to slow roll at level 6 and get 3-star Yone mainly, although we also want to be picking up as many Braums, Shens, Olafs, Leonas and Aatroxes as possible. You can also do a 4 Guardian version where instead of 4 Warriors, you'd have 4 Guardians with Taric and Thresh. And in general, this would be the team composition that we aim for at level 8. So after we get our 3-star Yone, we try to quickly go to level 8 and we try to get 4 Guardians and 4 Warriors. Although maybe you could try some other stuff. I've seen if you have a Guardian crest or a Mirage crest or a Warrior crest, you can go for quite a lot. Like you could go for 6 guardians or 6 warriors or something. But yeah, this isn't too in-depth of a guide, but basically we swap out Aatrox for Yasuo, and then we add the 2 guardians that we've been missing, and that should be our team composition. Yeah, so no idea why they buffed Yone, but I'm expecting him to start getting played quite a lot in NA and EU. Anyways, the next team composition is going to be for Scalescorn. This is currently a very strong and very popular team composition in NA and well, everywhere basically. But I think that it's going to remain popular and strong in the next patch. They'll do just fine. They didn't really nerf too much about this team composition. So I feel like it will be just as strong next patch, and I'll just quickly go over it right now. So this is our level 6 core, where we have Sejuani and Lilia for our Cavaliers. We can put Ionic Spark on Lilia. It's one of the best items. Like this comp wants a ton of cloaks. So you want Ionic Spark, you want Bloodthirster, you want QSS on your Olaf, and maybe even double Ionic Spark or something, like on Diana. And then we have our Olaf and Shen for our 2 Bruisers and Warriors. And we have Braum and Diana to complete the 4 Scalescorn. And really, this is the level 6 team composition, but you know, if we're not hitting a lot of Lilias early, we may as well just quickly go to level 7 and try and get our Olaf and Diana to be our carries by 3-starring them. So we're aiming to 3-star these 3 units. However, if you can't do it, it's totally fine, especially if you're being contested. So the units to add at level 7 and 8, usually you're looking to add Hecarim as a strong Cavalier. If you 2-star Hecarim, you can actually replace Sejuani. You're also looking to add Talon to give the Assassin synergy and the guild bonus. And another great unit to add would be Zoe. However, Zoe's a mage, so we'd get 2 mages. So in that situation, we'd want to replace Shen with Silas to keep the Bruiser synergy, but we'd get a mage synergy instead. Another thing you can do is, once you have Yasuo, you can replace Shen with Yasuo as well, right? So Yasuo 1 with items is going to be better than Shen 2. A lot of this was written in a guide on Reddit, so you guys can check that out too. But yeah, I'm not trying to spend too much time on any of these individual comps. I'm just showing you what I think will be strong next patch and what I'm planning to play next patch. And finally, we got Volibear with Cavaliers and Legends, and this will, I mean, finally for the reroll comps. Like, as you see, I still think there's going to be a lot of reroll comps and slow roll comps that will be very viable next patch. And over here, this will be the final reroll comp that I'll be playing. There may be some others that will be meta, obviously, but these are just the ones that I think I'll focus on. So Volibear, Legend, Cavaliers, I mean, let's put it this way. Volibear got buffed, Cavaliers got buffed, Dragonmancer got buffed. How can this not be strong? So this will be a level 7 comp. You basically want to rush to level 7 and get these 7 core units, and then you're basically slow rolling to try and 3-star your Volibear. And he's the main one you want to 3-star, but if you can 3-star Nunu, that's great, because Volibear is going to eat this Nunu. And 3-starring Anivia will also be great, because Anivia is like a secondary carry, kind of. I'm not really sure if Anivia should be eating Ashe, but I'm just doing it. You could also use Karma instead of Ashe. I don't think it matters too much. But basically we have Lee Sin and Ashe to give the Dragonmancer synergy. We have Sejuani as our guild, giving extra health to everyone, which is great for this team composition. But she's also a Cavalier who synergizes with Nunu. And I think one of the important things here is going to be itemization. It's very, like, in general, when I'm just putting items on these pictures or frames, like, to be honest, the items aren't usually like super important, like you can interchange items a bit. But for this, I feel like it's really important to get these specific items on volibear at least. We do want at least a Rage Blade and a Bloodthirster and a Quiescence. So that's going to be it about this team comp. Alright, so the next team comp I think will still be viable and I'm still going to be playing is going to be Elise SyFen with Guardians. I made a guide about it. It's the only other video I made on this channel. Yeah, so so like check it out. I'm not going to say much more than that for this. Finally, let's move on to the 10 cost carries, and we're moving straight to 10 cost carries because, as I said earlier, I believe like Xayah is going to be unplayable. Maybe I could see an iteration where we play Xayah with Shyvana, so like 9 Rage Wing basically. But the thing is, in that situation, Xayah's not going to be the carry, right? It's going to be Shyvana who's the carry. So I am not planning on playing any Xayah next patch. I'm not really planning on playing Corki either. Maybe as a transitional hero or unit into a 10 cost carry such as AoShin maybe. But in general, I just don't really see myself playing many 4 cost carries. So I think there's going to be a lot of reroll comps and slow roll comps that we want to roll for at level 6 and 7 especially. But at level 8, I don't think we're going to be rolling for many Xayahs or Talons. But I do think we want to be pushing level 9 quite often, and quite often we're going to be trying to find Shyvana, Aurelion Sol, or AoShin. So let's start with Shyvana. This will be, I think, her most popular variation at level 9. So we got Shyvana, Nico, Nidalee, Nora, Swain, for our 6 shapeshifters, and then we have Yasuo, who's just kind of here. I guess you could also play a Bard or Pike or something. I don't know. I would probably prefer Yasuo, but I think any other legendary would be fine. And we have Soraka to complete the 3 Jade synergy. This will probably be the most popular version of a Shyvana comp in the next patch, and like Shyvana is already quite strong this patch. And we're already itemizing her with AP, but now they're making her deal like over 1,000 damage as a 1-star 10 cost unit, right? Shyvana will be like super broken next patch, I feel. You just put some AP items on her and she's going to be dealing 2,000 damage per cast, so she's just gonna like delete 4 units in like one of her fire breath things. I think she's going to have to be hotfixed. But who knows, maybe Riot won't like touch her, and like it just sounds really broken. Also, Morello's got buffed to be like doing almost like 50 damage, which is almost the same amount as Deathcap. So like I'm not even sure why I'm including Deathcap here. It should probably be like a JG, right? But yeah, basically I feel like Shyvana is going to be extremely strong. Similar to the power level of AoShin right now, and the real question is just going to be like, how can we get there? So I kind of have in my head like a few ways to get there, because just stumbling into this team comp isn't going to be so easy. Like we're going to have to do constant transitions during the early and mid game and have strong squads. So I might that's something that's going to be more complicated to figure out, and yeah, so we're not going to try and go too much into details in the early or mid game, but maybe sometime next patch I'll make a guide on how I reach this like Exodia comp. So yeah, let me know if you're interested in that. The next team composition will be again a 10 cost, so this time AoShin. AoShin's getting a nerf, but honestly it's not like a super huge nerf. In addition to that, just the team around AoShin is so strong. We have 4 legendary units here, like 4 other legendary units other than AoShin. Ornn and Sylas are very strong in their own rights. So this is the general like level 9 Exodia comp this patch. and I think it's still going to be one of the Exodia comps next patch. I believe like it will be competing with Shyvana and Sol comps next patch. So I think like, yeah, as I said, 10 cost carries will be very strong next patch basically. So if you are like one of those guys who wants to go for the late game, you're probably gonna enjoy this patch. Although if you're like a reroll type of player who likes to slow roll or reroll in level 6 or earlier, you'll also enjoy this patch. It just, if you're one of those like fast 8, go for Zarya comps, unlucky the next patch I think. But yeah, again, the question really is, how do you reach this point? How do you reach this AoShin comp? Right now the most common way is by playing mages, right? But I actually don't plan on playing mages at all next patch, right? So I've got some other methods I have planned to reach this AoShin comp, and I can tell you it's going to be either through trainers or through the Jade game tree. So yeah, so if I start with trainers or Jade, that will give me the option of going into an AoShin comp. So I'm not going to have to be forced to play mages to run AoShin. And this is our final team composition, guys. We got Aurelion Sol over here, the 110 cost unit that has pretty much never seen play so far this set. He's been highly underpowered, but they are finally giving him some huge buffs, and I think he will be very viable next patch. The thing is, because he hasn't been played yet, really, there's no real meta comp, so I kind of had to like try and think myself, how will he be played? So I honestly have no idea if this will be the comp that's most commonly used with him. But I do feel like it's going to be strong. It makes a lot of sense to me. So we have Aurelion Sol. It's a level 9 team comp, and we've got 4 evokers with Anivia, Sona, and Lulu. And our front line is going to be Nico and Nar, because they complete a Jade synergy with Anivia, which makes a lot of sense to me, because it felt a bit awkward just putting like 2 bruisers up there like Ornn and Silas when they have no other synergies going for them. And then we just add in 2 other legendaries. So I thought this was the Sol comp that made the most sense. I'm not sure, we'll have to see how it plays out, but I do plan on testing this a bit myself. But again, this is like such a high level comp. It's a level 9 comp. We have like 3 legendary units and several 4 cost units. So the question really is, again, how do we reach this point? And we need like a game plan. We can't just enter a game and hope to randomly stumble upon a team like this. So I'm gonna have to try and find out a way to get to this point consistently if possible. Yeah, but that's gonna be it for like the list of team compositions that I think will be viable. I actually think there'll be more than that, but this is just what I plan on playing myself and testing out. And if you're interested in a guide for any of these individual compositions, let me know. Maybe I will think about making another guide. So that's gonna be it for today. Thanks for watching. Peace out, guys.